This has been a very busy week for the pilots at United Airlines as everyone is scrambling to make sense of how to deal with the new IRS rules and how to make elections for the 401k catch-up contributions, while at the same time coping with the vacation forfeiture and the latest pending cash balance plan for potentially 2027. So why all the confusion? Well, in terms of vacation forfeiture, you are being asked to make an election in 2025 for a scenario that might or might not arise in 2027. In other words, which plan would you like all your excess funds to go to should the new cash balance plan be in place for 2027? And to add to the confusion, elections also need to be taken into account the new Secure Act 2.0 and the corresponding limitations that the Schwab website has for accommodating pilots and the IRS. So let's go ahead and break it down. Hello and welcome to the Pilot Money Podcast. My name is Alex Tapia, president and founder of Aviation Retirement Strategies and ARS Private Wealth. Together, we give you the tools and advice you need to take advantage of the ever-changing financial world and help you take care of the business end of your professional aviation career. As financial fiduciaries, we bring you up-to-date, relevant, and independent information so that you can make sound financial decisions for yourself, your family, and your eventual retirement from the airlines. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you can stay up to date on any timely information that we bring to the professional aviation community. Or you can also visit us online at www.pilotmoney.com. Once again, welcome to the Pilot Money Podcast. As you know, ALPA MEC has been sending out communications starting last week up to actually yesterday, trying to communicate the information about everything that's going on in some of the elections that you have to make in order to not only comply with the IRS, but also make the proper types of contributions and do the things that apply to you as an individual. And it tends to be a little bit confusing. I'm going to be honest with you, it was a little confusing to us at first as well, but it looks like we've kind of figured it out, and we've been talking to a lot of people. We got a lot of phone calls yesterday when we received the email about having to make the election at Schwab starting actually today. If you don't make the election by today for your 401k contributions and the types of contributions that you want to make, then it might not take effect for the first paycheck in January. So we are trying to break all of this down. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to kind of strip it down and see if we can make sense of it to give you a little bit more information and give you some more information and more data to be able to make a good decision on whatever's going to be happening in the future, especially given the unknowns that we have, like the cash balance plan still not being implemented at United Airlines in anticipation maybe of 2027. Companies like United Airlines that provide retirement plans for their employees, they have to comply with the current IRS rules, which state that the cash balance plan elections must be made in the year prior to the election taking effect. So just in case the cash balance plan is available, you have to tell them how you want to participate in it for 2027. Now, coincidentally, when you make vacation forfeiture elections during any year, you will be getting credit for any hours you work in December of that applicable year. Those credits from December will actually take effect in the following year. So if you make an election today for 2026, you must make an election, you have to make the election in 2025, and whatever credit you receive for the elections in December of 2026, they will actually take effect in 2027. So basically the question that they're asking is, do you want to have any monies beyond the maximum contribution limits for you and the company, i.e. the IRS 415 limit, also referred to as spillage, to go into the active HRA/RHA account, or do you want to utilize the new cash balance plan instead? And to make it even more interesting, you can also do both. This is the default choice if you choose not to make an election at all. And remember, you are making this election in addition to what is already being put into the PRAP with your vacation forfeiture. It is not either or. The company will try to do its best to maximize the 415 limit. The vacation forfeiture is in addition to that. Now, this sounds extremely confusing, but the best way to figure this out is to try and visualize it as if the cash balance plan already is in place. So if you were to take the plan as it currently exists, which means that you currently have a pilot retirement account plan, and it is subject to the 415 limit, which is the overall limit that you and the company can contribute to the plan before we start dealing with any kind of spillage into some other type of plan. Now, just to recap from the last video that we did, the 415 limits for 2026 are $72,000 of total contributions. That includes you and the company. And also, in case you happen to reach $360,000 in 1 year in salary or eligible compensation, which would mean, but with an 18% contribution to the plan, which means $64,800, you can either reach that limit or the 415 limit, whichever is first. But once either one of these limits is reached, the company is going to start spilling any additional funds into a different kind of a plan. Well, currently, what we have is we have a active HRA, RHA account, retiree health account, in which it's currently spilling into. You don't really have a choice. So if you have any spillage during any given year, the money is going to be spilling into the RHA account. But if you visualize the fact that you also have potentially another source that you can put the money into, which is now going to be the market-based cash balance plan, basically when the 415 limit has been reached and in the bucket on the top, once you have any spillage, you can either choose to make it go to the active, the retiree health account, or you can have any kind of spillage go into the market-based cash balance plan, or you can also do a combination of both. Now, probably one of the most important things to remember is that having these options is a great problem to have. Either one of these options for retirement, they have great features. They also have some limitations, of course. It's never, if ever, a perfect investment. But having these choices available to you, it's just a remarkable thing that a lot of people just can't claim. So it's a good position to be in for the United pilots, or really any pilot at any major carrier, but it's important to understand what these plans are doing and how they work and how they fit into your overall retirement strategy. If you're getting ready for retirement or if you're just starting your career, either way, these are extremely important decisions to make, and it's important to understand what these plans are and how they work. Now, I've done some videos about these plans, and you can go through my YouTube channel and seek them out. Or you can also give me a call at the number here listed below in front of me, and we'd be happy to explain to you how these work and how they potentially fit into your retirement plan. But in terms of making a decision as to how to move forward with the market-based cash balance plan, should you be interested in participating in it, this is basically the way it's going to work. You have, if you take the same picture, basically anytime you've forfeit your vacation, if you choose for it to go into the PRAP, you're basically electing to add that in addition to your own contributions and the company contributions. So it's potentially feasible and very highly likely that you're going to be hitting the limits of the 415 plan. And if you've already hit the limits, or if you're close to hitting the limits, and in addition to that you put vacation forfeiture money into the PRAP, more than likely you're going to start spilling. Now you have to elect, based on what they're asking you to do here in December, is you have to elect whether or not you want it to go to the RHA plan for retirement, which is a medical account, or you want to invest it in some way in the market-based cash balance plan and retain some certain sense of control over your money in retirement and not just have it being stuck in a medical expense account. So basically, once the PRAP 415 limit has been reached, any vacation forfeiture, you can now elect for it to go to the RHA account or the market-based cash balance plan. And should you elect to not make an election at all, the company is going to automatically, by default, put your election at 50-50, half going into one and half going into the other, and that way you're taking advantage of both, unless you change an election down the road somewhere when the window opens back up. Now, I think one of the great things about the market-based cash balance plan for United Airlines specifically is the fact that you can make a yearly election, or at least that's how the plan is proposed for the IRS, where you can make a yearly election on whether or not you want to participate in it. Because, for instance, if you work at Delta, whenever a couple of years ago, whenever you had to make your election, that election was irrevocable. You cannot take it back. At American Airlines, their cash balance plan is going to take effect in January, and you can only elect every 3 years whatever it is that you want to do with that extra money. So United's plan is maybe a little bit more flexible, and I'm thinking that could be potentially one of the reasons why it's taken longer to get it approved. But if it is in fact approved that way, that's actually a great thing for you because it's a very, very flexible plan, and you can get opt in or out of it as you progress in your career and as your needs change, which I think is a great thing, because having options in the financial world is always a great place to be in. And certainly with all these plans and the kind of money that pilots are making, you have all the options in the world. It's just about figuring out which one is is right for you and which one should you be doing depending on the stage in life that you're in. So if you have any questions, let me know. Give me a call, the number here listed below, and be happy to go through. We've been getting calls already from a lot of pilots. We work with a lot of United pilots, and certainly happy to help out and answer any questions how this may specifically be applicable to your own situation. So I look forward to hearing from you. In the meantime, if we don't talk to you for the rest of the month, have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and we'll be talking to you soon.